Rearview Media and Remax leading edge realtor Sam Kane bring you conversations from the park bench with our guest Tammy Brown from the Tammy Brown Agency located in Canton, Michigan.
This is Tammy Brown with Tammy Brown Insurance, Farm Bureau, and thank you for doing this. Thank you for taking the time out to do this. What I'd like to do is just, there's a story that got you to where you are. And you can, if you could start with that.
Okay.
How did you get to be a Farm Bureau insurance agent?
Well, actually, my mother-in-law was killed in a car accident. And when she was killed in the car accident, the family was going through a lot because it was traumatic. It wasn't expected. And so I talked a lot to the insurance companies, and I learned a lot through that process of how the auto insurance policy really covered her and the family in that accident. And so through that process, I was like, wait a minute, my policy, and I was not a single mom at the time, but I was a mother of 3 girls. And so I was looking and I'm like, wow, my policy is nowhere near as good as this one. So I went to my insurance agent and I said, hey, why don't I have, uninsured motorist? Why don't I have a life, policy built in? What's going on? And he looked at me and he goes, well, you didn't ask me for that. And I said, well, how am I supposed to know what is available to me? I'm not the insurance person. So, after that, I started thinking about it and started talking to other people who were in the insurance business. And I talked with a gentleman that was a manager for Farm Bureau Insurance. I talked to him and I said, I would really like to be that person who tells and educates people about their policies and how they really help them so that if and when they need it, they've got the right coverage and they're not thinking like myself, wow, if I would have been in that accident versus my mother-in-law, I would not have come out financially as well as that incident had happened. So that's kind of how I got into it. My main focus was to educate people on what it can really do for you.
So you turned a tragedy into an opportunity.
Yes.
And it's based on your desire to make sure that your clients are well served.
Correct.
It's really all about mitigating risk.
Right.
Identifying a person's risks and then helping them find a way to mitigate those risks.
Right.
As an accountant, we always say that self-insurance is no insurance. Well,
Right.
It is.
Right. It's your own money.
It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad decision, but you have to understand that there's no such thing as self-insurance. How do you go about then identifying people that you can bring this knowledge to? Have you done like little webinars, or do you do presentations in various places?
I've done a few presentations. As I've built up my clientele, probably 99% of my business is referral based. So people that I insure currently will talk to their friends, family, colleagues, and they refer them. And the thing that a lot of people say that they like the best is how many questions that we ask. We ask a lot of questions. I want to make sure I understand what your risk tolerance is. I sit there and I talk to them about, okay, what's the most important to you? Do you want, what happens if this vehicle gets damaged? What do you want to happen to it? Do you want to be able to repair it with our money, or do you want to just deal with it on your own? Like, you have those conversations. If it's a business owner, we talk to them about what's most important. What can you deal with on your own and what can't you? A business owner, if they don't have the right coverage, it could be the end of their business. And so therefore you want to make sure that their livelihood is protected. So we ask a lot of questions, and then we find out, we cater that policy to fit what your needs are. So you could have 2 people that own a pet store, 2 different pet stores, and they may have a little bit of different coverages because something's more important to one than it is the other. It really just depends on what that person's risk tolerance is, how much they're willing to take on their own, like you're saying, self-insure, versus wanting the insurance company to step in and take care of that.
And like in virtually everything else, there is no one size fits all anything.
No.
I see that you provide a variety of different products, from auto and home through life and health insurance. But you also have some like annuities, different kinds of things.
Yep.
Has that grown out of your experience with, you've got clients who have a new need, have something new, so that you've decided, well, I'm going to educate myself on this and become a provider of that?
Right. So usually we'll get clients in for like either their home or auto insurance, and then we find out, through meetings with them and reviews with them, then it's like, okay, well, they're having a baby. Well, you need life insurance. So then you talk about that. You have some people who may lose health insurance through a job. So they call you up and say, hey, is this something you can help me out with? And so it's like, then we get into the health insurance conversation. And there's different kinds of homeowners policies. So you really have to know, do you have a condo? Do you have a, single family home? Do you have a multiple family home? Do you have a farm? Like, there's different policies for different things. Farm Bureau has a special policy for lake estates. Anybody on a body of water, it's a different type of policy and covers them a little bit differently because they have different needs being on water. So usually some of our products and services, people learn more and more about them as we sit down and we talk, and they start to tell you, oh yeah, I just bought a boat, or oh yeah, we're thinking about, buying a seasonal home. Like, you start to get into those conversations, and then those other products come up. But I would never sit and talk about a seasonal home coverage with somebody who doesn't own a seasonal home or isn't thinking of getting one. It's just not something, you don't want to waste their time.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when you mentioned life insurance, the last thing in the world people want to spend money on is insurance.
Right.
But understanding that risk component that they have is really, that's your job.
Right.
And do you do annual reviews with people?
We try to do annual reviews with people.
Them.
We offer them, yes. Not everybody wants to sit down with me every year. But, and a lot of times when people call in, they'll tell us little things that are going on. So if somebody happens to mention, hey, we're having our first child, that's, we congratulate them and we say, hey, you really need to think about this. And, we like to call it love insurance too, because a lot of people, it's not tangible. Life insurance, it's not tangible. So until somebody passes away. And so you have to really talk about what the benefits of that product are. And when you have loved ones that rely on you, wife, children, that type of thing, you definitely want to make sure that if something happens to you tomorrow, that they're taken care of like you would have wanted them to be.
How do you relate to the community? What's the biggest driver for you?
Well, I feel fortunate, to have a business and to have, family. And so I think it's very important that as business owners, we also give back to the community. The community supports you, you want to support the community. So we do that in many ways. I belong to the Chamber of Commerce. We do a lot of stuff through the Chamber of Commerce. I'm involved in some other, local groups. I started a charitable fund, our charitable organization called Chicks for Charity 12 years ago. I just this past year stepped down as president. It was time for somebody else to kind of step in and be the leader. But that organization has raised about $500,000 over 12 years to help local, charities in the area. We've helped at Open Door, helping, distribute food. We've done a lot of fundraisers for other organizations in the area. And so, we're helping to put, like, right now, $500,000 back into the community. And when COVID hit and all the small businesses kind of had to shut down for a while, and then we're trying to get restarted, we actually did a fundraiser that was drawn every day for 30 days. So during the month of November, every day, whatever the Michigan 3-digit evening number was, that number ticket would win whatever prize for the day. Well, that year we took the money, so we sold the tickets for $20. So $10 out of every ticket went to buy prizes and $10 went to the charity. So we went around and we bought prizes from the local businesses instead of asking them for donations, because we knew they had just had a very hard time.
Right.
And when you're walking into a business and you're telling them you're doing this fundraiser and you tell them you're going to buy the prices, they were like, what? Wait a minute, what? So we felt really good because we put $10,000 back into the community by buying those prizes to help those small businesses during that hard time. And I feel that's important.
That's an innovative way to do it. I've not heard that done before, but it's a great way. We briefly chatted about small businesses, and that I have a passion for them because my entire career has been that.
Right.
And I found almost universally that the people who have small businesses are the ones who are most involved in their community.
Yes.
And that when small businesses die, communities die. It's not just a factory town in Ohio that loses a plant that goes down. It's communities all over the country. When the backbone, the small businesses that operate in their go, it's devastating to them. So it's that's a real good piece to that.
And then I also I sit on the board of the Canton Cares Foundation, and we help to raise money and help distribute it to like the township organizations. We help fund some stuff for like fire and police, and we help fund stuff for some of the employees, and we also help local individuals who might be having a hard time. We can use some of those funds for that too. So those are important actions to have in the community, because the more you can help support your community, like you said, the stronger that community is going to be, and it's going to benefit everyone, not just, a few. It's going to benefit everybody by helping spread those dollars around. If I get involved in something, it's because I have a passion for what's going on with that. And my number one thing is I'm not Tammy Brown of the Tammy Brown Agency. When I'm doing that, I'm just Tammy Brown, helping and giving, help. It's not about my business. It's not about me as a business owner or thinking that, hey, I'm going to get some, maybe I'll get some leads out of this. It's my time to give back. So it's kind of stepping away. And I have a couple of things that I look at when I get involved in groups and organizations. I'm like, number one, who's this going to benefit? Is it something I'm passionate about? When it comes to like kids and things like that, it's like we had a brief conversation. I coach volleyball in the area. When I chose to do that, is this going to benefit someone? And I felt my talents and skills, I can help grow young women, help them to become better, community participants and leaders in their community, and help build stronger women along the way with coaching them in volleyball. And so it's got to be something I'm passionate about and that I feel I can bring value to. I've never thought about what's in it for me. It's always, can I add value to whatever it is I'm getting involved in? If I don't think I can add value, then, that's not the right thing.
I don't think people quite grasp how important it is every day to add value.
Right.
It doesn't matter what level, profession, job position you hold. If you're not adding value,
right,
you're not needed.
Correct.
And so I like the answer, and I think that's the answer for most people. But I think there are the cynical people who are going to look at it and say, well, you do this because it gets your name out there, or you do that. And I got to tell you, from my own perspective, there's not enough time in the day for me to do something I don't have passion for, irrespective of how many deals it could create.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Exactly. That's not why we're there.
No, no. I'm not a realtor because I'm looking to get rich. In fact, you can.
Oh, yeah.
I can't, because that's not the way I operate. I'm much more interested in working with people and helping them through a difficult life decision. And sometimes the best answer is probably not time for you to buy or sell. Probably think about something else in the short run. I recently did just a real quick video tip on home modifications.
Oh, okay.
Most realtors are going to tell you, don't do anything to your house that's going to make the value of the house go down. Like swimming pools are going to eliminate 50% or more of the people who are going to buy the house. And my response to that is, are you going to live there and is it going to add value to your life? Because if it does, how do you know what people in the future are going to want, right?
Right.
You have to make decisions predicated on the present, always keeping the future in mind,
yes,
but not solely.
No.
We have to live in the present. It's the only place we can be happy.
Yep.
And I would say, look, I'm not going to be able to leave you much in the way of inheritance. But you're all bright guys and you're going to all earn your own living. What I will try to leave you with is memories.
I don't really have too many other activities that I can think of off the top of my head with their dates and stuff without being president this year, I'm not on top of everything as much as I used to be. You could ask me last year, for the last 12 years, I'd know everything because I was president. But
if you do have any events, you can email me,
Yep.
and I'm happy to post those.
Well, thank you.
As well. Anything else that in?
No, thank you for having me. This has been great. This is very nice. Appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to having this edited, and you look at it.
Look at it in the edited version.
Yeah, yeah.
That'll be nice.